What's this? A Caydor appears? That must mean it's time for another random update. Rebuilding the Random, Part 1. Last week I said I was going to work on rebuilding Adventures in Random from kind of the ground up. I'm not tearing everything down, but there's quite a few things I need to polish up at the various layers, and part of that is I'm trying out some new software for editing that will hopefully speed up the process, and so far I am liking the video editing software because that let me quickly edit all 4 of the videos I posted Wednesday. Edit them, get them all queued for export, and then quickly export them to YouTube. So I can, instead of doing videos one at a time, if I have to do them from this point on 15 minutes until YouTube either cooperates or I find a better way to host, then I'll do in sets of 2 to 4. And I may do, like, if I'm long, not necessarily long hauling it, but like I may release an hour of footage at a time instead of just the however long it is, whether it be 10 or 20 or whatever. And what else did I do this week? Tried to make a symbol for Adventures in Random, a kind of updated version of that little comedy and tragedy mask we use, because I used it so much that it's kind of become part of it for me. But the program I was trying to use wasn't quite cooperating. I heard it was vector based, and so I was expecting I could just go in and like enter algebraic formulas, because the only time I've ever been good at drawing is when I took a graphing calculator and entered functions until I made a scarecrow for, what was it, calculus? I think it was calculus. We did that for extra credit, and I loved it. And so have that. Oh, I have unleashed the forum. I decided that since the site didn't have a whole lot going on right now, that I wanted to have something, because right now you could just browse and there's no real incentive to subscribe unless you want to comment. So I don't know how well it works right now. I need to get a couple people started, and I may make a few threads myself to get it going, but I have put up a forum so that people may come and enjoy and form a community, and the rules for that are pretty well the same as the rest of the site. There's a policies and guidelines page. If you fail to read that, at the very least I will probably kick you, because they're there. Read them. And I don't know if I've mentioned it on there, so I'll quick read through of basically what it covers. It mentions the ads, use the double click cookies thing. I don't know the exact details, but you have to have it if you want to do AdSense. So we have that, but mostly what it talks about is I was starting to get things that look like spam, and there was a couple of comments that I deleted that may or may not have been spam, that I decided to consider spam under my own definition, which was if it repeatedly mentions a product that's not related to the site and you haven't asked me if you can advertise, then I'm going to consider it spam, because I was getting a couple that looked like it would be like actual comment, but I had randomly placed a link to like pins or something like that that didn't even make sense on what the page was about or what the paragraph they had wrote had to do with. And there was another that I deleted as spam because I don't know if it was just bad grammar or what, but I couldn't understand what it was talking about. So if I read through it and it seems like gibberish, or it's just like so badly misspelled that I think you might as well have just smashed your face repeatedly into the keyboard and hit enter, I'm going to delete it because it's just going to clutter space. And I don't know if it's mentioned there, but try to keep it to the topic at hand. So if you start a thread that's talking about a Harry Potter roleplay, if you show up with Cloud, spam. I have no mercy for you. This is the warning. And it's in the guidelines that says keep it to the topic at hand. Now, if you speak to other people and they agree to let you bring Cloud Strife into the Harry Potter fanfic, then go ahead. And no judging. I don't mind a little bit of trolling if you're keeping people honest. If they're showing up claiming one facts and you can quickly dispute their facts with facts elsewhere, then that is a discussion. That is fine. However, you just show up and say, ha ha ha, gay, spam. And I hate spam. They do. It's a very disgusting meat product. Same with Vienna sausages. Blech. Bologna. Bologna is bad too. And try to keep it PG to PG-13. The very least, no pornographic, because I do want to welcome role players to come and join and have fun, because that's what Adventures in Random is all about. Because despite it actually happening to us, the story Adventures in Random very well felt like one of the worst role-playing games I've ever experienced. So, encourage role players, but no pornographic material. I don't want to draw a line, so I'll just go no sex talk, even if it's appropriate to the context, because I don't want to have to go in and determine what's gratuitous and what's not gratuitous, and I would like people of all shapes, sizes, races, genders, and ages to feel welcome on the site. So kids should be allowed to come without having to worry about, or without parents having to worry too much about what they're going to be exposed to. And if the topic at hand, let's put it this way, I have a kind of loose rule with myself that I may bend sometimes, but never break. That whatever the material I'm working with is, like, say I'm working with Ratchet and Clank. It's rated T, has crude humor and fantasy violence, but you really don't get a whole lot of curse words. And so I'll keep them to a minute. I may use some of the more creative ones, but try to keep them to a minimum. However, if it's E for everyone, like Crash Bandicoot here, then no cursing except like shoot, maybe damn if I'm feeling uppity. I haven't done too many E-rated games, so. And I think the closest I got was I made a somewhat dirty joke in my kind of overview abridged version of this children's storybook I found, but it wasn't obvious. Basically, you'd get the joke if you knew what I was talking about, but if you didn't know what I was talking about, it just sounded like me making funny noises, because I'm fun like that. And then, of course, like, what do we got over here? I want something smaller. Aha. Like, we get something with a mature rating, where you get blood, gore, language, sexual themes, use of alcohol, violence. I pretty well feel free to curse as much as I like. It's just, you notice the longer the Dark Souls gameplay went on, the more likely I was to curse. And it didn't get posted, but I did find myself cursing quite a bit during Mario. But it's Mario. I can't help myself. Even though I was willingly playing for the site, I couldn't help myself. I just hate that game so much. Okay, so brief overview of the forum rules. If you beat me to it, go ahead and make topics. I don't know who has the most freedom here or how the priorities are set. So it's not letting you create threads, and you are in fact signed up for the website as a member, then feel free to message me or Integer. It'll be quickly or more quickly resolved if it's me, but I don't always get the messages, and at the very least Integer can contact me directly to handle it. So is that anything else? I don't know what will be going on next week. If we get to play more Diablo 3, then I may put more of that up, because I was having quite a bit of fun with that, as you could probably tell as I'm laughing maniacally, unleashing a horde of bats into a room full of red bars. I just love it so much. I can't wait to see what else the Witch Doctor has. Okay, and we're getting around to the 13-minute mark. Let's see, I talked about the forum. Feel free to join that. Talked about the video and video editor. And I think that's about it.